Newport Beach, California, August 20th, 2016, 3:30 p.m. The parking structure smells like hot concrete and engine oil. Footsteps echo longer than they should. Tara Newell walks toward her car, keys in hand, phone tucked under her arm. It is a normal afternoon. Sunlight spills in at an angle through the open sides of the garage, striping the ground in gold and shadow. She does not see him at first. He steps out from behind a pillar. No greeting, no smile, just proximity. "Tara," his voice is calm, almost conversational. John Meehan is holding a knife, not raised, not dramatic, just present. Then he lunges. The fight lasts less than 2 minutes. It feels like an hour. When police arrive, John Meehan is bleeding out on the pavement. Tara is shaking, repeating, "He attacked me." But this story did not begin in a parking garage. It began 2 years earlier, with a dating profile and a promise of safety. Deborah Newell did not grow up privileged. She built her life through repetition and recovery. Marriage, divorce, rebuild. Marriage, divorce, rebuild. By the time she reached her late 50s, she had survived 4 marriages, some unstable, some financially chaotic, some emotionally draining. What she learned was not cynicism, it was resilience. She refused to become bitter. Instead, she built something solid. Her interior design firm, Ambrosia Home, became a quiet Orange County success story. Her clients were affluent. Her taste was sharp, but warm. She understood the psychology of space. People trusted her vision. Her home in Newport Beach reflected control, clean lines, soft neutrals, order. But emotionally, she still wanted partnership. She did not want to grow old alone, and that desire created an opening. Online dating in your late 50s is not desperation. It is efficiency. Deborah joined an upscale dating site for professionals. She was not looking for drama. She was looking for stability. Then she found him. John Meehan. He presented himself as an anesthesiologist. He claimed international work. He described himself as compassionate, intelligent, and direct. His messages were attentive. He asked about her business, specifically. He commented on her achievements thoughtfully. He did not flirt aggressively. He admired her. The first phone call lasted over an hour. He spoke about working in Iraq, about trauma medicine, about helping people in crisis zones. He positioned himself as calm in chaos. To someone who had lived through unstable marriages, that sounded like safety. John did not invent himself overnight. He had been rehearsing for decades. Born in Ohio in 1959, he grew up around car salesmanship. He studied law briefly. Later, he worked in hospital environments, sometimes legitimately, sometimes under scrutiny. There were drug charges in the early 2000s involving stolen anesthetic medication. He dated nurses repeatedly. Patterns emerged: rapid intimacy, intense devotion, sudden financial dependency, emotional volatility when confronted. Former partners described the same cycle: attraction, attachment, control. But John did not present as chaotic. He presented as composed. That was the danger. The relationship accelerated. Within weeks, he was spending nights at her home. Within 2 months, he had a drawer. Within 3, he was effectively living there. Deborah described him as attentive. He cooked. He fixed things. He called her beautiful. Her daughters were cautious, not hostile, just observant. Tara noticed inconsistencies. The Iraq stories shifted in detail. The hospital positions were vague. Google searches produced court records. Deborah confronted him. He did not react defensively. He sighed. He looked hurt. He explained the charges as misunderstandings involving hospital politics. He reframed former partners as unstable. He expressed disappointment that her daughters would dig into his past. It worked, because when someone stays calm under accusation, they often appear truthful. Manipulation is subtle. John never demanded Deborah cut off her daughters. He suggested they were undermining her happiness. He asked why grown children felt entitled to interfere. He positioned himself as protective. He began monitoring her schedule, showing up unannounced, asking detailed questions about finances, not aggressively, strategically. He needed proximity to assets, but he framed it as partnership. When Deborah expressed doubts, he intensified affection, gifts, grand declarations, emotional vulnerability. Dependency formed quickly. Tara kept digging. She contacted women from his past. The stories were disturbingly similar. Rapid attachment, financial entanglement, escalation when confronted. One woman had filed restraining orders. Another described fear. The daughters showed Deborah documentation, court records, police reports. Deborah was shaken, but John was persuasive. He claimed harassment. He claimed jealousy. He claimed misunderstanding. Because he had embedded himself emotionally, doubt now felt like betrayal. Eventually, something shifted. Deborah began to pull back. Less enthusiasm, more questions. John sensed it immediately. The tone changed. Texts multiplied. Calls became relentless. When she did not respond, he escalated. He showed up. Messages moved from loving to accusatory. When control slips, escalation follows. He tried charm again. Apologies. Blame redirected to stress. He said he felt attacked. Then came guilt. You promised you wouldn't give up on us. You said you believed in me. It was not shouting. It was leverage. Deborah began sleeping poorly. Her friends noticed tension, but she still loved the version he performed, not the real man, the performance. Investigators later found repetition, not chaos, repetition. He had targeted women before, women with stable income, women with stability. The script rarely changed, present as accomplished, move fast emotionally, create exclusivity, access financial stability, escalate when threatened. He was not improvising. He was refining. There were restraining orders, warnings, people who had tried to expose him, but each time he relocated, rebranded, restarted. Online dating made reinvention easy. When Deborah finally ended it, he did not leave quietly. He began appearing near her office, near her home, near places her daughters frequented. Text messages escalated. I just want to talk. Then, you owe me closure. Then, you will regret this. He tracked her movements. He sat outside in his car for hours. He created fake email accounts. He left voicemails that shifted between longing and menace. Police were notified, but stalking laws are reactive. That gray space is where predators operate. Tara was not passive. She was observant. From the beginning, she sensed something was wrong. Inconsistencies, micro shifts in tone, moments where charm looked rehearsed. She gathered documentation, court filings, police reports. She contacted women from his past. She was methodical, and that made her a threat. John recognized that. His hostility toward her was sharper, less filtered. There were financial warning signs, unpaid debts, vague explanations, professional instability. Deborah had resources, property, security. To him, that represented stability. And when stability disappears, desperation increases. The harassment intensified. Police reports were filed. He denied everything. He portrayed himself as the victim. But tension was building toward something final. August 20th, 2016. The parking structure was not random. He had been monitoring patterns. He knew routines. He knew timing. Tara was alone. He approached calmly. No shouting, no warning, just movement, then attack. He lunged with a knife. She fought back instinctively. He was stabbed multiple times. She did not pursue. She defended. When police arrived, he was still conscious. He later died at the hospital. Tara was not charged. Authorities ruled it self-defense, but legal clarity does not erase psychological impact. Media moved quickly. Headlines simplified. Dirty John. The nickname stayed. Podcasts dissected it. Television dramatized it. But beneath the dramatization was something more uncomfortable. Deborah was not foolish. She was human. John was not impulsive. He was practiced. Tara was not paranoid. She was perceptive. The real question is not how someone falls for deception. The real question is why convincing performances work. He exploited status, emotional urgency, isolation, trust. Manipulation rarely looks dangerous at first. It looks attentive. It looks romantic. It looks safe. John died, but consequences remained. Deborah had to reconcile the man she loved with the man he was. Tara carried the psychological weight of survival through violence. The family endured public scrutiny. The story became a cultural moment because it revealed something modern. Online intimacy collapses timelines. Strangers gain access quickly. Verification comes later, sometimes too late. Deborah wanted partnership. John wanted leverage. Tara wanted truth. Three motivations collided. This was not just a crime story. It was a story about identity, reinvention, performance, and belief. In the end, it was a collision between illusion and reality. Deborah reinvented herself through resilience. John reinvented himself through deception. One built stability, the other built illusion. And illusion, when threatened, turned violent. The parking structure still stands. Cars come and go. Concrete remembers nothing. But for one family, that place marks the moment illusion ended and survival began.